2025. It's 10:30 a.m. and we're here to discuss the fire mitigation grants and planning phase. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So these are what I've given you here is the 4 grants that I've been told we're going to get. And with that, the big one on top is the Community Wildfire Defense Grant, which is $7.5 million. As we were going through the grants that we were getting, I really didn't think we were going to get this one, just because of all the government stuff that went on this year and still going on. But got notice that we're going to get it.
Okay.
The second one, the PRRA, for $500,000. I did all the paperwork for it. We should be getting an MOU to sign here within the next couple weeks. And then that'll probably be the first one we start looking at what we're going to do with that money. The third one there, the bark beetle mitigation grant, at $200,000. I did not have any idea that we were going to get that. The state put us in for that because of, in a meeting I just mentioned that we wanted to do some work up by the Kellogg High School.
Yep.
And they ran with it, put the county in for this grant, and that's what this grant is for, is to do the work up by the Kellogg High School and down by the hospital. So that's going to be another project. We're going to have a limited time to work on that, because we're going to have when school's out during the summer to work on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be running chainsaws up around the high school or
have traffic
and all that stuff while they're in session.
Yeah.
So that one is a 2-year grant.
Okay. And it's for 50-acre project?
Yeah, 50 acre. It depends on what we're going to do. We possibly could do a little more than that.
Okay.
Depending on after we take a look at it and see how thick and what we're actually going to do there.
Okay.
The part between the hospital and the high school, that hillside there where the old trail was at, that was done back in 2009, 2010. We're going to revisit that and see if we need to do any cleanup work in that. And then on the other side of the road, on the west side of the road, we're going to look at that and see if we need any cleanup in that. That still looks pretty good up until you get to the back corner of the high school where they stopped with the fire mitigation. And you can definitely tell where they stopped because it's just a wall of brush. So.
Okay. Now is this going to be a lot of hand, or can we get equipment, probably mostly hand?
The majority of it will be hand.
Okay.
There is some pieces in there we may do with some machines, just so we have so people can kind of see the difference in what that goes on. The other thing is I haven't talked to the school district yet on some of this, what we might do in there. I'm going to talk with them, get a feeling what they would like to see. Hopefully, maybe we could help out the school and help out, show some of the students that are looking at going into forestry and that kind of stuff what we do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe more of a learning thing than
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. And so the last grant is the Western Fire Managers Grant, $240,000. Put in for this grant 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is site-specific grant. It's the East Elizabeth Park.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do 50 acres in there. It's going to lie between the forks in Elizabeth Park, Rosebud Road, and then I can't remember what the other road is called, but it's all lays in between those two roads and those two forks up
Okay.
the ridge top. I did have an inquiry that if we actually want to have all these grants, especially the Western Fire Managers, if we didn't want to tackle that, we could let that go back to the state, and then the state would put it someplace else in the state where somebody needs more funding.
Okay.
The reason it came up is because with these littler grants, they take up a lot of time, and we could do the same work under the CWDG.
Okay.
It would just give us each one of these grants has different rules and different. The paperwork's almost identical, but there's different pieces to different grants, and so tracking all this paperwork for all these grants might be kind of crazy.
Okay. So, so you're looking at foregoing the Western Fire Grant, not the project. The project can be covered under the
Community.
CWDG grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just something I want you to think about, because we'll
Okay.
probably have to have another meeting and
Okay.
Okay.
under an action item or whatever
Okay.
for a decision,
Okay.
because this will be county money, and you are the decision
Right.
makers and stuff. So
Okay.
for me to just make that and then tell you guys, hey, I just dropped this
Yeah.
grant, I might.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can discuss that later. Now, on the CWDG grant, we're going to do a lot of the I-90 corridor private properties with that, right?
Right. In the past, fire mitigation started in the valley in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole time up till now, it's been more of a shotgun effect, where we did whatever properties people wanted done. And it's still that way. But what we're going to try to do is connect some of these past treatments with new treatments, and make the fuel breaks, or whatever you want to call them, more continuous instead of this
Spot treatment.
Yeah.
spot treatments.
Okay.
It could mean bigger projects,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we get into like the bigger landowners, the mining companies, even like Silver Mountain, and get into the people that actually own a lot of property in here, and we go on to their properties. In the long run, it'll be more effective for the communities, and hopefully save homes and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, is making sure we do the fire mitigation so that we don't have problems like we did in 1910.
Yeah.
Right.
Now on that, the I-90 corridor, isn't there a site that we can? Is there a map that the public can go to? I was going to ask about that. I'll talk to I know the Forest Service is closed right now, but
the Forest Service has got the big map. I can get a map, and we can post it on the website.
Yeah, let's do
county
that.
website.
That would probably be
That
good.
would be good.
Because I have a copy of the big map, but I mean I don't have it on the website.
What we do is scale it down so it would fit on it's not this, because when they pull it up, it's on their big screen off their computer.
Yeah.
And it's still not, everything's not on that screen. So get it condensed down and kind of make sure it has a good legend to it so people know what they're looking at. And then our work is going to tie in with the Forest Service work, the BLM work, and any work that the Idaho Department of Lands is doing. We're hoping with all this work being done that, that all the communities here in at least the Silver Valley will have some kind of protection to them. And hopefully be able to expand on this as we get more and more grants after we get through with these.
Okay. And then get things going over in Calder and Avery and in those areas. Now on the I-90 corridor, just for the public's knowledge, it starts on our county line, right?
Yep, Cataldo.
And it goes all the way up to Mullen, the I-90 corridor.
Yeah,
just the county.
Even it'll go all the way to the state line.
Yeah.
The Idaho-Montana state line.
Look out.
Yeah.
The Forest Service has a bunch of work identified in there. The BLM's looking at their stuff in that area. IDL has some work that's ongoing in the Mullen area, and then we're going to come in and do the private and the city properties that they want, if they want us to do it. So hopefully our plan is to start at one end and move towards the other.
And and just so the public's aware, this is fire mitigation. This isn't timber sales where we're going out on public lands. We're just on private lands where they're thinning and they're, making sure that
our part of it is, yes. The Forest Service and the Department of Lands and the BLM, there'll probably be some sort of logging on their properties.
Yeah.
But the private properties, we do not log.
That's right.
At least the Shoshone County Fire Mitigation.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll go in and thin, clean up the properties, and then because like the biggest tree we'll cut down is like 10 inches in diameter.
Okay. And just for property owners that are on the I-90 corridor, the private property owners, it's not, it's fire mitigation, and and if they're on the I-90 corridor, they should get a hold of our fire mitigation director, and you can get on our website and get your information.
Yeah, we're going to do some changes to that site.
Okay.
First thing is it needs to be updated. It hasn't been updated since for as long as I've been here. I've been here for 10 years.
Okay.
And Colleen was at our meeting at the last Thursday, and they discussed some changes and some stuff that everybody kind of agreed to. We want to get it all written out and
Okay.
kind of what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully make the public more aware that fire mitigation is here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the past is we've been doing so many of these little projects and not had the budget to do any what I call real large projects,
Mm-hmm.
that people kind of forgot about us.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure the word gets out, and if we can help people, we will. And there's some things we can and can't do.
Well, maybe when we start getting closer to planning, and I know we're in the scoping process on some of it with the Forest Service,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe when we get closer to that, we can maybe reach out to our assessor and maybe do some mail outs to some of the landowners. Would that probably be included in the grant, possibly?
Yes. I wasn't. Well, I was at the meeting, but I was standing up in front of the map, pointing at different things, and
Mm-hmm.
there was different discussions going on. And you were more into the
Marketing side.
that part of how we were going to get the people to get the word out to people, and
Okay.
just some ideas that people
Okay.
were throwing out there. So you want to address those?
Sure, so there is marketing that is included in this to make sure that we're getting the word out to
Okay.
the eligible properties along this project area. And there'll be a multitude of different ways that have been discussed, from billboards and mail outs. And so once we know what this looks like and what exactly the messaging is going to be, then then we'll drill down into an actual marketing plan. And so absolutely, I think, if they don't already have the lists, getting a hold of the assessors roles and working through them is definitely an opportunity to do that. It helps us narrow, because we'll know the project.
Yeah.
Because there's a specific,
Right.
It's not the entire county, there's a specific area. So
Yeah.
we'll know who's in that, and we can work with Jerry's office too.
And they keep expanding sometimes. Right
Yes.
now which is neat.
Yeah.
The what's been discussed is in this fall and this winter is to get all this stuff put together, identify our starting point, maybe have a couple community meetings with the folks that where we're going to start, and give them some idea what it's going to look like when we're done. Because like you say, a lot of people think that fire mitigation does logging. We don't. We're not going to leave you a clear cut in your backyard. No, that's just some of the stuff that we deal with on a regular basis.
And it'll be paid for by grants, which
Right.
the landowner, it's for the landowner. And I think part of the thing is too is, when you're next to Forest Service land and your property and theirs is fire mitigated and yours is not, there could be potential problems of legal issues if the fire starts on private land and then goes into Forest Service. So I think it's going to be good that the public and everybody works together on this so that we can.
And when we do have, when we are doing the decision type, or the decision meetings and stuff like that, we do want the public input.
Yeah.
Because it will help us put these projects together and not do like one little piece over here and then go
Right.
do one little
Kind
piece
of
over here
staggered.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we get done with these two pieces, the one in the middle wants us to come back, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's tough because we've got so many projects lined up, and if it goes the way I think it's going to go fast. It's going to be a little crazy, but and hopefully we can get as many landowners taken care of as we can here in the with this project, or projects, I should say, that we're going to have going.
Now, on the school, I know IDL was talking about the school kind of using that as a base point of where people can actually go and see it and see, what it looks like, so they can, kind of gauge that as that's what my property, this is what they do. It's not a, like you said, it's not a clear cut. It's a, it's.
Yeah, that we're gonna use that, and then the project that we're just now completing there along the Silver Valley Road between Bunker Hill and the Galena Ridge Road going up to the golf course. That project.
Okay.
They want to use that as something that people can look at and say, "Oh, okay, that looks good."
Okay.
So far, I haven't heard any comments on it from the public.
Okay.
We might after we get some of those slash piles cleaned up.
Yeah.
But usually if something happens negative in the county, it ends up on Facebook.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I haven't seen anything on Facebook yet. So
And then that one that is up towards Bunker, we're gonna have to, those are the ones we're gonna burn this next spring, right?
right,
Was that the part of that grant that we
Yep.
cut in half? And
right.
Yep.
so usually they get burned, in the fall, but since that one was, so.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is the ones down on the flat close to Silver Valley Road, I'd like to run a chipper and just chip those this fall,
Okay.
and just get them out of there, just in case. I don't want to leave them there for another summer, and maybe, something happens and the fire starts, and we got that to deal with. Just to kind of build a buffer between the road and the hillside, and so that's what I've been working on here lately, is seeing where I can get a chipper and the cost and all that stuff. So
All right.
Hopefully the weather holds off a little longer.
Yeah.
Rain's not bad. We can work in rain, but
Yeah.
once it starts snowing, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And depending on which weather forecast you believe, some say we're not going to get any snow, and some say we're going to get lots of snow.
I
So,
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll know
When it
come
happens.
February.
Yeah.
yeah. We're still shoveling snow in March. We know
Yeah.
That's right.
So the plan is hopefully to have some projects identified and be able to go out with contracts in the spring, which, hopefully March, April, and be able to start work. And then as we get more of the projects identified and can get the boundary laid out and all this, and get people to work. I think it's going to move fast. It's going to move. Sometimes it might be I might be scratching my head wondering what's going on.
Mhm.
But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a good project. I think it's going to be good for the valley.
Mhm.
I will touch a little bit on the PRRA grant. We're going to use some of that money to go down and around the Calder area, Clarkia, Avery, and try to identify and get some projects going down in that area.
Okay.
We haven't had a project down there. Well, I know they had a few projects down there before I took this job, but there hasn't been a project down there since
Okay.
I took over. So they're overdue for some work down there.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Now on these, when you have been going out already and working with private landowners, you know, usually they go out with you sometimes and kind of some, you know, you kind of point out different areas of what it needs to be done and how it's.
Some do.
Some do. So it's not uncommon.
No, it's not
Yeah.
uncommon. I mean,
So people do have, you know, will come with you sometimes.
right,
Do a walkthrough.
Do a walkthrough.
do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
And we, one thing we are going to start is with our prescription work. It tells the public what we're going to do. You know, like the spacing between trees and how we're going to deal with the slash and how we go from, and then talk a little bit about what is required of them, because once they sign a project agreement and we start a project, once we're done, the property owner is responsible for that for the next 10 years. Fire mitigation cannot come back on that piece of property for 10 years.
Okay.
We'll go back and do visual checks
Mhm.
and kind of see but we will not be able to come back in and do any work.
Do any work.
Okay.
And that's a big one, especially with a lot of the landowners being elderly. We'll do the work, but we know that they're not going to be able to do
Keep up.
keep
Yeah.
up with for the next 10 years. So we may sneak back in and do a little work for them,
Okay.
just so that they
Are in compliance.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Anything else? Anything else we forget? Or
as this keeps going, I'll probably be
Yeah.
okay.
More
Yeah, that
meetings
would be
More
great.
meetings. Yes.
because it's like every time I have a meeting with the stewardship group or whatever group I meet with, things change and
Mhm.
more ideas come out and
Yep.
that kind of thing. So I want to
Okay.
make sure you're informed and that we are doing what we need to be doing.
This will be great for our valley. You know,
Yeah. It
the
will.
1910 fire was not too long ago, and it's, you know, we can see the hazard that we have right now, and
Right.
this is the time we need to really start cleaning stuff up and getting ready for
Yeah.
just in case. So, well, thank you very much.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Congratulations on the $7.5 million
Yeah.
grant and the 500,000, the 200,000,
Yeah.
240. Boy,
It went from not much to all of a sudden just everything
Yeah.
all at once.
like, oh, how are we gonna make it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some times this summer I thought, well, are we gonna have to close the door?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everything hits at once.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and I think, you know, the California wildfires in Oregon and things like
Mhm.
that have really kind of woken up the government
Yeah.
to make sure that we, you know, get these things done so that we can protect our communities. So I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else? Nothing else? We're adjourned.